So today we'll be discussing about transmission characteristics of optical fibers. Normally here we discuss about signal degradation in optical fibers. So how the signal characteristics is going to be affected when it is going to propagate throughout the length of the fiber. So first type of characteristics what we discuss is the attenuation. So this is a signal degradation type what we consider in terms of transmission losses. So normally attenuation is a transmission loss which occurs in a fiber, and we have discussed about this earlier related to the optical fibers. So for example, if I consider the copper wire or a coaxial cable, then the transmission loss or the attenuation will be near to 2 to 5 dB per kilometer, whereas in optical fibers it is very less. It is found to be zero point 0.2 dB per kilometer. And attenuation loss is measured in dB per kilometer, and it is measured for the entire length of the optical fiber. And we discuss that with the example later. So this is what we consider in terms of the formula for describing attenuation. It is expressed in dB. So alpha is equal to 1 by L into 10 log of Pi by P naught, where Pi is the power which is coupled into the fiber, which is the input power, and P naught is the optical power output, which is the output from the fiber. And if I want to express that in dB, I can consider it as just 10 log of Pi by P naught. And if I want to determine the power ratios, which is the ratio of input power to the output power, or launched power to the received power, Pi by P naught will be equal to 10 to the power dB by 100, or what we call it as 10 to the power of alpha in dB by 100. So this is how we are going to use a formula to find the attenuation, to find the power ratios. And the fiber attenuation is the function of wavelength. So we can see here three windows: first window, second window, and third window. So in this range, if I specify the wavelength of the signal is between 800 to 900 nanometer, then the attenuation will be around 10 dB per kilometer. So that may be the maximum attenuation which may reach with the signal operating at a wavelength of 800 to 900 nanometer. Normally it would be 850 nanometers. And if I just look into the operating wavelength, if it is changed from 800 or to 1200 to 1300, normally it is 1210 nanometers, then the attenuation is drastically reduced to around zero point 0.5 dB per kilometer. And if I again change the wavelength from 1200 nanometers to 1600 nanometers, which is normally 1550 nanometer to 1630 nanometer. So in this condition, we see that there is the attenuation which is slightly reduced to zero point 0.3 dB per kilometer from zero point 0.5 dB per kilometer. So when if I just look into this graph, I can understand that the attenuation is a factor which depends on the wavelength, operating wavelength. So we'll take one example. So in the example, we see that when the optical power launched into an 8 kilometer fiber length of a fiber, which is 120 microwatt. So the power launched into the fiber is nothing but the input power. So Ei is 120 microwatt, and the mean optical power at the fiber output is 3 microwatt. So P naught is 3 microwatt, which is the output power from the fiber. So in this, the data shared is the length of the fiber, which is found to be 8 kilometers, and the input to the fiber, which is denoted as Pi 120 microwatts, and the optical power at the fiber output, which is P naught 3 microwatt. So we have to determine the overall signal attenuation or loss in dB. So this is alpha in decibels, so that has to be determined, and also based on a condition where the fiber is assumed to be of no connectors or splices, because these connectors and splices will also introduce some attenuation into the fiber, so fiber link. So that is not considered because there are no connectors or splices. Then the signal attenuation per kilometer for the fiber. So this is alpha dB by L, or alpha dB per kilometer has to be determined. Then the overall signal attenuation for a 10 kilometer optical link. So the length of the fiber is 8 kilometer, but the link length is changed to 10 kilometer. So if you know the attenuation or a loss for 1 kilometer, I can determine it for 10 kilometers. And it uses the same fiber with the splices at 1 kilometer interval. So here at each kilometer interval, we see that there are splices which are used to join the optical fiber, and each giving an attenuation of 1 dB. So alpha is 1 dB for a splice. Then fourth, we have to determine the numerical input output power ratio. So we already seen that Pi by P naught is giving the input output power ratio. So depending on these equations and the given data, I can find what is alpha. So alpha is 10 log of Pi by P naught. So if I find, I can get it as 16 dB per 8 kilometer. So if it is 16 dB for 8 kilometer, the attenuation changes to 2 dB per kilometer if I consider the loss for 1 kilometer length of a fiber. Then if I consider the third part of that, one is 16 dB per kilometer is the total attenuation. That is a 16 dB is the total attenuation, which is for 8 kilometers. And for a kilometer, the attenuation is 16 by 8, which is giving me 2 dB per kilometer. Then considering that alpha has 2 dB per kilometer, for a given length of 10 kilometer, I can say that alpha dB into L, or alpha into L, is 2 into 10, which is giving me 20 dB. The total attenuation is 20 dB for 10 kilometer of a fiber. And later he says that we have to determine the signal attenuation, and the signal attenuation or overall signal attenuation for the link is nothing but the attenuation caused by the optical fiber and the attenuation caused by the splicer. So if I consider a 10 kilometer link, we require 9 splicers to join these optical fibers in a link. So from each splice we have 1 dB attenuation. So for 9 splicers we will have 9 into 1 dB attenuation, which is giving us 9 dB. Hence the signal attenuation is 20, which is attenuation from the fiber, plus 9 dB, which is attenuation from the splicer, which is giving us 29 dB. So this is the overall signal attenuation in the optical fiber link. Then we have the numerical value for input output power ratio, which is Pi by P naught, which is 10 power 29 by 10, that is alpha by 10, which is giving us 794.3. So that is the numerical value of input output power ratio of the fiber link. Then the second type of loss is the absorption. And if I consider the absorption, it is caused by three different mechanisms. So first is, it is due to the atomic defects in the glass composition. So earlier we have discussed about the optical fiber fabrication, wherein we stick on to fiber materials selection, during which we have considered the composition or ingredients which are required for the fiber fabrication. So there might be atomic defects in the glass composition. So this atomic defects will cause the absorption in fiber. Then we have extrinsic absorption and intrinsic absorption depending on the atoms or the constituents of a fiber material. So if I consider extrinsic absorption, it is by the impurity elements or impurity atoms which are present in the glass material. So normally when we go with the fabrication process, in the glass material there might be some impurity elements or impurity atoms which may be left as a residue during the process of fabrication. So even that causes the absorption, and such absorptions are extrinsic absorption. If I go with intrinsic absorption, it is due to the basic constituent atom of a fiber. So the basic constituents which are required for the fabrication of a fiber, if there are any variation in these constituents, what we call it as a mixtures of the different materials used in the fabrication of fiber. So if there is any difference in selecting the constituent of a fiber, it results in intrinsic absorption. Then if I consider the first part, absorption by atomic defects, then atomic defects are nothing but the imperfections in the atomic structure of the fiber material. So it is not perfect. The structure of the element is not perfect. There are some imperfections, such as missing molecules. There might be some molecules which is missing in the atomic structure, high density clusters of atom groups. So this may be the possibility of defect in terms of atomic structure imperfection, which can cause absorption. But these absorptions are negligible if I compare it with the intrinsic or extrinsic absorption losses. Then the absorption is most significant if I consider the fiber to be exposed to certain radiations, medical therapies, space missions, etc. So if I consider any nuclear reaction to happen, so that we are using this optical fiber in a hazardous environment wherein some radiation may cause some uh, problems in the optical fiber. So that effect is most significant if I consider the absorption. And if there are any radiation which happens, it may damage the internal structure of the fiber. So the fiber structure may get damaged so that the information may not properly reach the destination. Instead, it may radiate out of the cladding surface of the optical fiber. And the damages are proportional to the intensity of ionizing particle. So this is a known fact. If the damages are more, it means that the intensity of this ionizing particles is very high. That is considered, and this results in increasing attenuation. So absorption also increases the attenuation due to the atomic defects and the absorption of optical signal or the optical energy. And the total dose of a material receives is expressed in radians in terms of the size. This is the unit of measuring radiation absorbed in bulk silicon. It means that we are expressing the absorption depending on the radiation. So if the radiation is more, then the absorption effect on the fiber will be very high. You can see that one radiation for silicon is given by 0.01 joules kg. So this is what we consider. The higher the radiation intensity, more the attenuation. So we can see that the radiation intensity, if it is going to increase, it is increasing the attenuation. And you can see that the attenuation is dB per kilometer. So the radiation intensity, if it is increasing more and more, the attenuation is going to be affected and it is going to be increased more and more. And then we have extrinsic absorption. So extrinsic absorption normally occurs due to the transitions between the energy levels. So whenever I say transition, it is a change of the amplitude or change of the signal in terms of voltage or in terms of any reference parameter. So if I consider a transition between the energy level, and because of the charge transition, the extrinsic absorption may occur. So major source of attenuation due to the extrinsic absorption is the transition of metal impurity ions. So normally if I consider metal impurity ions, iron, chromium, cobalt and copper are the impurity ions which are present, and due to the presence of these impurity ions in the transition of metal, we see that it is affecting the attenuation, which leads to extrinsic absorption. And these losses can be up to 1 to 10 dB per kilometer. So this is a major contributor for the attenuation, because the losses may go up to 10 dB per kilometer. And, but these metallic impurities can be reduced. The effect of these metallic impurities can be reduced by proper refining techniques, by glass refining techniques. So by proper refinement process, which can be during the process of fabrication of a fiber, extrinsic absorption can be reduced. Another extrinsic loss can be obtained due to hydraulics ions impurities which are dissolved in the glass material. So even this is a contributor to the extrinsic absorption, which leads to the change in the attenuation in the fiber. And these are the wavelengths which can be considered to be the changes from 2.7 to 4.2 micrometer, and the absorption peak occurs at 1400, 950 and 750 nanometers. So these are the absorption peak. So at these different wavelengths, we can observe the peaks where the absorption is high. These are the absorption peaks. So first overtone, second overtone, third overtone. So this is the wavelength. The wavelength is around 750 nanometer, and the attenuation is 10 power 3 dB per kilometer, and it goes on increasing as the wavelength is going to be increased. Then we have intrinsic absorption. Intrinsic absorption occurs when the material is in absolutely pure state. No variation in the density and no non-homogeneous nature of the material. So we consider it as inhomogeneities. So this is nothing but variation in terms of density and non-homogeneous nature of the material which is selected for fiber fabrication. So the intrinsic absorption sets a fundamental lower limit on absorption for any particular material. Because if I consider intrinsic absorption, it results from electronic absorption bands which occurs in ultraviolet region and from atomic vibration bands in the higher region. So this is what we consider for intrinsic absorption. Then electronic absorption bands are normally related to the band gaps of amorphous glass materials. So these are the materials which are normally used for the fabrication of a fiber, and they are properly to be selected. And absorption here occurs when a photon interacts with the electron. So this is a problem which may occur during the process of absorption. The photon will interact with an electron in the valence band and excites it to a higher energy level. So whenever I say amplifying a signal, there is an excitation which occurs so that the charges from lower energy level jumps to higher energy level. So these conditions occur during the process of amplifying a particular signal. And UV absorption reduces exponentially with increasing wavelength. So this we have to know. with increasing wavelength, the absorption starts to decrease in the UV absorption region. But in IR, which is the region above 1.2 micrometer, the loss is determined by the presence of OH ions, which is hydroxyl ions. We have seen it earlier, hydroxyl ions, and inherent IR absorption due to the constituent materials. So they are nothing but a mixtures of elements which are used in the fabrication process of a fiber. Then it results in transfer of energy from field to the band. Therefore, it rises, gives rise to a absorption process. And the loss mechanism, which is affecting the attenuation in a fiber in a pure germanium, can be observed here. So this is the photon energy. We normally represent as electron volts, and this is the UV absorption region. This is the IR absorption region, and this is the operating wavelength. So as we see that the wavelength or operating wavelength is going to be increased, then the loss is going to be decreased if it is in UV absorption region. But if it is in IR absorption region, the loss is going to be increased, since the photon energy, or which is the interaction of the photon with a particular electron, can change the loss or the attenuation, which is also a factor dependent on the wavelength. So this is attenuation spectrum, what can be visualized for a particular intrinsic absorption losses which can occur in a fiber.